not ready to go yet. Okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something. All right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, please, people. Come on, we're adults here.
You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that like going
That is
and
the
getting her
best
done.
shit fucking
Shopping for
ever.
dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that like playing with.
Shout out to Cherry for just being just easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had, man. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. Woo! Good evening, friends. Happy Wednesday, Thursday. Happy Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday. It's great to see you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a nice day. Hope everybody's having a nice week. It's all kind of rainy and shitty here. It's going to be like this for a few days, and it's going to bum me out. But I have been taking advantage and doing the best I can with my days, and I have felt really, really good lately. And yeah, like I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat, man. Like I'm just gonna go, dude. Listen, dude. I get, a lot of people feel a certain way about Karen Read now, and those feelings are justified. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I get it, but the thing is as I've stated many, many times, this thing that she's doing right now is extremely important. I know a lot of people are like, oh, okay, well, she's suing, so I don't care about that because that's just her getting hers, and she's just now we know that she's a mean person and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, man, like I get that, but the thing is like she's doing a really important thing here. I feel like it's almost, I mean, it's her choice, but it's almost irresponsible to not sue these people and get them deposed. You guys have to understand it on a level that's bigger than our feelings here. At least that's what I like to think that I'm doing, is I'm talking about things that, and I'm going to, and I realize that a lot of this is coming from the fact that I'm going to play Bill Reed's interview with Boston 10. And that honestly has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I'm very interested in hearing what his feelings are and what his thoughts are after the news. I'm just very interested in hearing from Bill Reed. I have not listened to this yet. But I am very I'm interested in Bill Reed's opinion on this or his thoughts on this, because we have not heard that until now as far as the lawsuit goes, at least not publicly. And I stated yesterday what Bill Reed said to me in regards to that when we spoke in the courtroom, in the courthouse lobby. And he didn't say much, but he definitely did indicate to me, without saying so exactly, that this was in the works, this was in the making. And the fact that there was civil attorneys present during the trial, well, that should have been the biggest indicator to everyone. So this was coming. And again, understand, we've been saying this. All of us who have been following this case, all of us who have been covering this case, or at least most of us, have been saying that, or at least agree that this is that the trial and her getting acquitted was just a prelude to things to come. I'm here for those things to come, regardless of whether or not Karen Read is an ingrate or not. I'm not going to sit here and worry about that. Like, my feelings about that have come and gone. I feel no way or the other about it now. And the fact is I don't even have any bad feelings towards Karen Read. I have just simply made the observation that she does not embody the behavior of someone who is grateful. That's all I've said. And I stand by that. I don't have any personal feelings one way or the other about Karen Read. I barely interacted with Karen Read. The people who I interacted with, and this is the other reason why I'm going over this, was Karen Read's family and her camp. I interacted with them more than anybody when I would go and visit Boston and attend these hearings. And Bill Read is one of the most impressive people I've ever met in my life. Janet Read is one of the most impressive people I've ever met in my life. And by impressive, I mean that they left a solid, positive impression on me. And for that, I will always be grateful to them. I will always be grateful to Karen Read for inviting me to attend these hearings. But it was an honor to get to sit next to Karen Read's parents and her family members in support of her, because, like it or not, she is an innocent woman who was framed for the crime that she was accused of. And she now has a rightful standing in suing the people responsible for this and the people who even had anything to do with it. So if you're lumping Karen Read's family up with her individual behavior that she has displayed to the community in the last couple of months, we're not the same. We're just not the same. I have nothing I have no negative thoughts, not even a negative thought, much less a negative opinion about anyone that I've met in Karen Read's family. And I stand by that, and I stand by that proudly. So, and that's an interesting point. And this is going to sound harsh, but to piggyback off of this comment, you could replace Karen with any other name, and the movement against corruption would be the same. It has been. That's partly true, but you do have to give credit to Karen Read herself for fighting as tenaciously as she did the entire time. They were trying to break her, and she didn't break. That's not going to be overlooked by this particular YouTuber. That's never going to be overlooked by this particular YouTuber, ever. So that happened. And the thing is as she did this, I watched the gentleman who we're going to listen to in this interview for 2 years. Now, he did it for longer, but I've only been following this case for 2 years. And I watched this man for 2 years sit in that courtroom every single hearing, every single one, unless he had like a doctor's appointment, which was extremely rare. But it didn't matter if he wasn't feeling good. It didn't matter. None of that shit mattered. He was going to be there to support his daughter. And that's something I respect. Doesn't matter who the daughter is. I will always respect that. So, you know, yeah, Karen Read could be, I mean, I just don't agree with that completely, because, like, yeah, the movement would have been the same for her, for sure. The movement would have been the same for her. But the thing is that Karen Read had the strength to fight that entire time. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take that away from her. I'm not even going to even remotely take that away from her. And we've heard her attorneys say how instrumental she was in her own defense. I'm not going to take that away from her either. So there are certain people who could have handled this, and then there are certain people who couldn't. Would the support have been the same for any person? Of course, because this is about justice. This isn't about Karen Read. This is about justice. But you cannot deny the fact that Karen Read had the ingredients to stand up to this local government that was trying to railroad her. And she said, no, fuck you. That's not happening. So, I mean, that's just undeniable. I have my opinions about how she's handling the Turtle Boy thing. I have my opinions about how she handled this 6 String Channel thing. I have all these opinions about this stuff. You know, but it doesn't mean that I hate Karen Read now. You know what I mean? None of that shit. That's not the case. I want her to win. That has never changed. I would like to see her and Aiden patch things up. That would be ideal. That would be great. But at the same time, Aiden doesn't need her any more than she needs him. She needed him before. That's also my opinion. But Aiden doesn't need her now. Would it be better? Sure. But he doesn't need her. You know, but that doesn't change the fact that she did what she did on her end. And I'm not, and anybody could be. The fact is that I have every right. Okay, people, I want people to understand this. I have every right to be mad at Karen Read and hold a grudge and be like, oh, fuck you, you know? I have every right to do that, but I'm not doing it. So, you know, I just feel like that should be something, you know, if you're following my channel and you like what I do, you know, and there's anything that I want you to take from it, it's these types of things where I'm like, well, I have the right to be, you know, grudge holding, but I'm not going to. Why do that? That doesn't change the facts of her case. The facts of her case is why I started talking about this in the first place. I didn't go into this and start talking about it as passionately as I did because I expected to meet Karen Read and spend time with her family. I had no idea that was even a possibility when I started talking about this case. And as I went on talking about it until it happened, I had no idea. I expected to sit here like every other case and just talk about it. And when there's updates, I talk about them just like I've been doing here. But I never thought that I would end up going to Boston and meeting all these people that I've met and spending time with them and then being so supportive of not only Karen Read, but Aiden as well. You know, I never saw that coming. But here we are, you know. But make no mistake, it's not just about, you know, it just so happens that in the process, I've become friends with people here. But know that what brought me out there in the first place was not because I was friends with anybody, because I wasn't. Not because I had, you know, gotten close with anybody. I hadn't. And I was invited, and so I went. I felt honored to be invited. I never had any real interest in attending a trial for any other case, mostly because I already assumed that the person was probably guilty. So I don't have enough visceral in me to want to sit there in a courtroom and, you know, stare that person down. Like you know, that's a loved one's seat that I could be taking to do that. You know what I mean? So I've never had any interest in doing that. But the opportunity to be invited to a trial where I know the person is innocent by the person who and her family who are being accused is being accused. How could I not feel honored by that? And how could I not do everything I could to be there? Because I was invited, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was like, hey, can I get a seat? Blah, 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 blah. It was, and Nick Rocco facilitated this. That's something I'll never take away from him, and I'll never lack having gratitude to him for. So, I am grateful to Nick Rocco for that. And I'm grateful to Nick Rocco for that. And I feel as though listen, including you, Cherry, any of you motherfuckers that are trying to rush me through this because you feel that I'm being repetitive or whatever, go fuck yourselves. Go somewhere else. I'm not done fucking talking. Okay? This is something that's on my mind on almost a constant basis. And I feel comfortable talking about it right now. So I'm going to fucking get through it and talk about it. And if it's not something that you enjoy, fuck off. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with, there's plenty of other creators that are live right now that you can go watch. So this has always been about justice for John O'Keefe. It's always been that for me. I can't speak for everyone else, but it's always been that for me. So this lawsuit that has been filed is one step closer to getting justice for John O'Keefe. Because the fact of the matter is, those who are responsible for John O'Keefe's death and its cover-up are out there and are currently and most likely in the process about to be sued by Karen Read. And I can only imagine, now Aiden's never spoke to me about it, but I can only imagine that Turtle Boy will do the exact same thing. Why wouldn't he? And if he chose, hey, you know what? I just want to move on with my life. I'm good. I just want to get past this bullshit. I mean, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him doing that. But I would get it. You know what I mean? I would get it. But the thing is if these people were going to try to sue Aiden, Turtle Boy, and these people were going to try to sue, if these people were, and if Aiden were to sue them, these people are going to get deposed. Think of it in terms of Aiden's case, right? This is what's beautiful about it. In terms of Aiden's case, if he gets to depose them, now they are obligated under law, by law, to answer the questions that they tried to lock him up for and called harassment and intimidation. Can anyone else see the beauty in that? Because that's all I'm seeing. I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing this being a prelude to hopefully John O'Keefe getting justice. More statements from the people who were responsible for covering him up and possibly killing him, John O'Keefe, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. More questions are going to be asked. More changing of stories are going to take place. Or there's going to be Fifth Amendment being invoked. This is the part of the story that I've been waiting for. So I'm fucking excited about it. I am absolutely stoked about it. And I'm damn sure excited about hearing what Bill Reed is going to say about it.
So, Bill, tell me, I mean, since Karen's acquittal, how has life been for the Reed family?
It's been in one way, a sense of fresh air, because the looming murder charge now, she's been exonerated from that. But, life still goes on. We're fighting this corruption. It's a battle. We will ultimately prevail. We will win. We've got the truth on our side, and an incredible body of lawyers who are passionately and enthusiastically involved in this case. So we go forward and with strength and faith, and this will get resolved. It's going to be a while, but it will be resolved. And Karen, everything that most people have a sense about in terms of the corruption in Norfolk County will be exposed. That's our belief, that's our hope, and that's what we're driving toward.
Where's Karen now? What's she been up to since?
Well, Karen travels a lot,
Let me
and
hear
she
that one more
spends an
time.
awful. We go forward, and with strength and faith, and this will get resolved. It's going to be a while, but it will be resolved. And Karen, everything that most people have a sense about in terms of the corruption in Norfolk County will be exposed. That's our belief, that's our hope, and that's what we're driving toward.
Now, this is a very powerful thing that Bill Reed is saying right now, because he's straight up saying our goal, what we're trying to do, is expose this corruption. That's what we're trying to do. So these people are still fighting. These people are still fighting. By filing that lawsuit against all the people that they filed, against the defense, what is it? The House, what did Alan Jackson call them? The House defendants? The House defendants, right? I mean, that's where you start. I mean, think about the strategy here. There's a method to this, guaranteed. And if I had to guess this method, if I had to guess the game plan, right, I'd say, okay, what we want is we want to get what the McCabe say and get that shit on record, because we're going to get to use that when we sue the balls off of the Canton police and the Massachusetts State Police, and that we're going to have more ammunition against those lawsuits. That's what I believe this plan is. That's what makes the most sense to me. And I love that shit. I love that shit. And Alan Jackson's statements that he made to, I think it was Ted Daniel. The statement that he gave Ted Daniel was, I mean, and everything that you've been hearing Alan Jackson say in interviews. I mean, you listen to Alan Jackson on Turtle Boys and on Justice Surf TV. You hear him, the way he talked on those things. This dude is a freight train. Let me go over these real quick. MJ, thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate it. And Dina, every one of you mofos, take a finger and blast that like button. Thank you so much, Dina. And again, Dina, thank you. I support Aiden. I support Karen. I support Will for always speaking truth. Thank you, Dina. I appreciate that. Lynn Centavani, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Where's Karen now? What's she been up to since?
Well, Karen travels a lot, and she spends an awful lot of time working with her attorneys, the local civil attorneys here in Boston, and of course Alan Jackson out on the West Coast. So she's always on the phone, and with the 3-hour difference in LA time, it could be 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and Attorney Jackson is still in the office. So, I mean, her days are full. She has friends. She travels up north to Florida, Martha's Vineyard, the Cape, and of course she primarily stays here with my wife and her, you know.
Keeping busy, per se.
Well, she's always busy. She knows this case inside and out, and she's reading all of the legal filings, and she is always in communication with the lawyers, and in a very positive sense in terms of guiding their thinking and listening from their perspective, what the legalities are in terms of the law. So it's an education for all of us.
How vital is Karen's legal team? I mean, would you have gotten to this point without them?
God, no. God, no. First and foremost, Alan Jackson.
Let me hear that question one
He's
more
just
time.
among a sea of great lawyers.
Team. I mean, would you have gotten
All of us.
How vital is Karen's legal team? I mean, would you have gotten to this point without them?
God, no. God, no. First and foremost, Alan Jackson. He's just among a sea of great lawyers. He is one of a kind. His skill set, his passion, he's just inimitable. He's just matchless. And he's a great, great man, and we're so indebted to him for how he's fought tirelessly for Karen. And it's not easy when you're 3,000 miles away, and you're traveling, and you got jet lag and everything, and plus she's got an inventory of critical cases out there in California and the like. So, I mean, I don't know how the man does it. I don't know, but we're grateful for him.
I don't think anyone's too surprised by the lawsuit. I mean, some people could have said they saw this one coming. What does your family hope comes from it?
One of the lawyers, I think it was David Yannetti early on, said sunlight is the best disinfectant. And
It absolutely is.
this will be the opportunity to depose many of these folks, folks from the Massachusetts State Police and the like, and without the guardrails provided by the criminal prosecution in Norfolk County. So we are confident. We've got, again, fabulous lawyers, skilled, passionate, and working around the clock. You can be bright, well-trained, but you need a work ethic, and their work ethic is just beyond measurement, really.
You're feeling really positive about one person in particular who's kind of helping in your case. Can you kind of talk to me about that?
Lost in yesterday's news of the filing by Karen and her team, the 46-page document that's heavily grounded in evidence, the law, and the Constitution, and brilliantly drafted, was the announcement that, and this was in the local papers, that a former federal prosecutor who resigned from his dream job earlier this month and was also, as reported, involved in the federal probe of the investigation conducted by Norfolk County into the Karen Reed matter.
What's the guy's name?
Has left
It's Deitch, right?
his job with the U.S. Attorney's Office and has taken up residence, sold his residence, I believe it was in East Boston, and has taken up residence in Quincy, Mass. And will be challenging.
So Bill Reed is just now endorsing publicly on Boston 10. He's just giving his endorsement for Deitch, which is awesome. Because I love that guy already, dude. I'm stoked about that dude. What the fuck? There we go.
Michael Morrissey, if he decides to run again for the position of Norfolk
won't.
County District Attorney.
He won't.
And
There's no way that Michael Morrissey is going to run again. I just don't see that happening. The only reason that I would think that Michael Morrissey would run again is for the same reason that he hasn't given Karen Reed back her phones, and for the same reason that he won't drop the charges against Turtle Boy, and for the same reason that he went to trial twice to try to with this sham against Karen Reed, is because he is just a fucking troll. A guy who's saying, I'm Michael Morrissey and I'm going to do what I want. And you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know the people I know, and blah, 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 blah. That is Meatball Morrissey's whole demeanor. And that is totally, in my opinion, behind the behavior of everything he's been doing. The dude is like, the dude is saying, for the sake of, I have Brady responsibilities, so I need to know if I'm being investigated. He's asking the U.S. Attorney's Office, I need to know if I'm being investigated because I have Brady responsibilities. And this dude, his office is notorious for the last at least 2 years of being just just raping the Brady law, raping it. I mean, how much shit came out that they were supposed to give in discovery? I'm telling you, David Yannetti had the foresight, okay? The Cerebral Ninja had the foresight to file a motion the day of Karen Reed's arraignment that they give all evidence. They provide all evidence, which is already a given. Brady law dictates it. It's already a given. They're already, they have to have that. They have to give that up. They're supposed to do that anyway without anybody having to tell them. But what David Yannetti did was he filed a motion. And I remember asking him about that. And I was like, yo, that just tells me, I mean, they're supposed to do that anyway. So that just tells me that that you had the foresight. You saw all this fuckery that was going to happen back then. And he was, and as I was saying that, he was just nodding his head like, yep, from the very beginning. That's exactly what he told me from the very beginning. Now, mind you, this was long before the gag order. This was at the hearing. This was at the hearing where they were talking about it, where Brennan tried saying there was no order. There was no motion filed for the stuff to be shared in discovery. Like, that was his argument. And there was, though. And I was like, I went to Kelly Reed and I was like, yo, I have that shit on my, I just went over this yesterday on a live stream. I was like, I have this shit on my phone right here. And Kelly was like, we all have that shit on our phones, you know, like this Brendan's just full of shit, you know. And I was just like, oh, yeah, all right. But the whole thing was like, they knew, you know what I mean? Like, they knew this from the very beginning, and all they did was violate. All they did was just not share discovery. All the stuff just kept coming out after the fact. Why didn't this come out? Why did this Sallyport footage come out after we asked for the Sallyport footage in the first trial? Why wasn't this footage included in that footage? And that's just one example. Dina, thank you so much. McAlberts and their trolls are going to be going to jail. Agreed. I absolutely agree. Yeah. Thank you so much. So Michael Morrissey, we're talking about a guy who, used his influence, in my opinion, used his influence to continue to move the goalpost. And I mean, look at Brendan's whole approach to her prosecution. His whole approach to Karen Read's prosecution was to cut her defense's legs out from under them. Just try to block everything that they had as a defense. That's all Brendan tried to do. He just tried to play dirty the whole time. It just didn't fly. I mean, it flew a little because, you know, it was Beverly Cannoni, but it ultimately, if that's all you got and the burden of proof is on you, and you've got Alan Jackson making the most impactful opening and closing statements that I've ever heard in my fucking life, driving home the burden of proof, driving home the innocent until proven guilty. This was brilliant. So, yeah, I think Michael Morrissey will run again because he's that fucking stubborn and that much of a prick. But logic dictates that he wouldn't. You know what I mean?
I can tell you personally, I am heartened by that news because I think this is an individual who probably has a rich perspective of what went on, and to leave his position with the U.S. Attorney's Office to come sell his house and come into Quincy, take up residence so he can be part of Norfolk County to pursue this position of District Attorney for Norfolk County. I couldn't be more thrilled. From what I know of him, I don't know much. I've never met him. I've only seen pictures of him in the local paper, but I know he's from your neck of the woods. He's a native of Lincoln, Rhode Island, graduated from Brown, and I think has his Juris Doctor from University of Wisconsin. So we're just thrilled that
Now, that was the first 10 seconds of like a 15-minute history lesson that I got on Michael Morrissey from Bill Reed inside that courthouse. This guy knows everything about Michael Morrissey. Don't let him fool you. He knows everything about Michael Morrissey. It's amazing. It's beautiful. This man is not to be underestimated.
The aspect that this man, Attorney Deitch, he's a prosecutor. He comes potentially into this position with prosecutorial
Has Michael Morrissey ever even prosecuted a case?
experience. He's not a lifetime politician. So I just say to the residents of Norfolk County, get out there and vote. Please take back your government in Norfolk County. Get out there and vote.
Definitely important.
Yep.
What do you think about the response that this lawsuit just furthers a fuel that this is a conspiracy theory?
I don't know what else they can say. The truth will be told. The truth will come out. And when it does, I don't think there'll be too many surprises. 95% of the population, not only in this region, but in this country, if not around the world, have, after 3.5 years of watching this, 2 trials of what Karen Read endured, they have a good sense as to what happened. I mean, you can't look at these trials, inverted videos at the Sally Port. John O'Keefe's shredded hoodie that was suggested it was done by when he was left to die on the lawn by being passed over by Karen Read's vehicle. And yet it was done by a technician at the Massachusetts State Police Lab.
See, they were real careful. I mean, let's get real, dude. They were real careful during the trial to not imply. Bob Alessi was very, very careful to not imply that this was corruption. Of course not, Your Honor. You know? But he was fucking adamant. He was adamant. That's exactly what he was talking about when he said this.
What could be more egregious? What could be more misleading than that. And what could be more important?
That sounds to me like they can prove that shit was corruption, that shit was deliberate. That's what I'm hoping is the case. That's what I'm hoping is the case, because that was some bullshit that tried to get passed off as Karen Reed did this to John O'Keefe's hoodie, when actually the technician who had it in evidence did this. Why are they destroying evidence, even if it's accidental? Because I don't see that happening. Not that way. I mean, the fact is, like, it smells like shit, so it's probably shit. And I'm hoping that's what Bill Reed is alluding to, is there's corruption and you're going to find out, and there's stuff that's not going to surprise you. For instance, the hoodie.
Now, all of the witnesses whose testimony was questioned because of recanting earlier testimony that may have gone on during the first trial or in a federal grand jury, people are aware of what's going on, and it will ultimately come to pass. We will know everything that happened. Justice will be served. There'll be too much of an outcry for justice to just, all right, not be served.
Bill, what do you think is the biggest hurdle for Karen and her team going forward?
I love that, because that's exactly how I've been feeling about that. And even though it sounds like, I tell myself, there's a part of me that tells myself, dude, that's just fucking, you're a fucking dreamer, dude. You know what I mean? That's just you being a fucking idealist and a dreamer, and you're not being realistic. You're overly optimistic. And I love that he just said that. There's way too much of an outcry from the public for there not to be justice served here. There's just way too much. And I believe that. I believe that with all my heart, that it is the people. It is the supporters, all of those people that crowded outside of that courthouse for that verdict, that says it all. That says it all. There's too many of those people, too many of us who believe that justice will be served.
Stay healthy, stay strong, and they will. After 4 years this January, they have no quit, as Alan Jackson says, no quit. All the fight in the world, because it's a cause. This is an innocent woman who's been set up, who's been framed. This is a cause for justice. As an attorney, if you can't get behind this cause, you're probably in the wrong profession.
There you
so
go.
You really think the biggest hurdle would be mentality and staying strong rather than anything legally?
Know the facts, and argue them skillfully.
All right. I mean, since she's singing the damn super chat, then I guess.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
How dare you?
Jed Dalgos, thank you so much. Hey, Will, did you buy Clubber some bacon? Never change, Will. Thank you so much. Here's the thing about the bacon. I'm glad you asked. So the bacon, I stopped buying bacon because I eat the bacon. And like, I buy him the treats, the bacon strips, right? And I eat the bacon, and I felt like I just saw myself. The thing is I started spoiling him with it, right? Once I have enough to feed him for a couple of days, then he gets used to it, right? He gets used to the bacon grease. And the thing is you got to understand, I adore my dog, bro. I adore my dog more than anything in this fucking planet, dude. My dog and my cat, like, I just adore them more than anything. The rest of the fucking world could burn. I don't give a fuck. And because I'm trying to get healthier, I'm trying to get back to where I was before my knee injury, which I'm on a good track of doing, feeling really, really a lot better than I have in months. I I decided to just buy bacon grease because fuck the world. I decided to buy bacon grease. I realized that you can just buy a tub of bacon grease, like they sell it. So that's what I do, and then I still mix all of his food with bacon grease, and then I don't have to eat a bunch of bacon to get him the grease. So everybody wins here. And no, I will eat bacon again. I love bacon. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to eat a bit healthier, and I will once in a while get some bacon and eat it. I just don't want to eat it so much to where I have to keep up with Clubber's bacon grease, which was starting to happen. So I didn't want to do that. And so I found an alternative, and he still gets his bacon grease with every meal, and I don't have to eat a bunch of artery clogging food so that he can do that. So everybody wins, Jen Duggo. So yes, not bacon, but bacon grease. He gets bacon grease, and he gets like, dude, I spoil him so much, dude. Like, I literally have a station in my bedroom where it's like a kind of a shelving, more or less, like a little whatever. And that's where I keep their food. I have a fucking like what is it? A 50-pound holds 50 pounds worth of dry food, like Tupperware thing. I have an overwhelming amount of wet food packets that I've because I bought them to where when I get them, they it's timed for one a day, right? But sometimes he doesn't eat all his food. Sometimes he rations his food for 2 fucking days. It gets on my nerves, but he does. And so a lot of that over the last couple of years, because I have a regular Amazon thing where they just deliver it every month. It's an ongoing paying thing. And now I have way more than I need. And so he's getting a lot of wet food. So I mix his wet food with dry food. What I do is I mix bacon grease in his dry food. Then I put 2 packets of wet food in there, and I mix that all up. And that's what he eats. And I was only giving him 1 packet, but I need to get rid of it. So I give him a little less dry food, a little more wet food. And his treats, if he eats all of his food in one sitting, I give him treats. And he gets like 3 bacon strips, 3 milk bones, and 3 pepperonis. That's what I have right now. And he gets those each time I give him treats. Like, so I have like a station where I keep all that shit. Like, like a Clubber and Drago spoiling station is what I've got going on, which is kind of weird. I never thought I'd be that guy, but I am, because I fucking love them so much. But yeah, so yeah, Jen Doggos, don't worry. You guys spoil them very well. I promise you.
Depose the right people, we'll win. We will prevail. There is no doubt in my mind.
How important has Karen shared this with you? How important it is for her to clear her name?
I think most people see her as being terribly victimized. We know she's been objectified in terms of some of the vile comments by the now disgraced and former trooper Michael Proctor, who has since been fired. Karen lives within
Okay,
her
see, that
own
is
being.
Sorry, Bill. See, that shit is way out of control, dude. Like, I'm not at that level. Now, if I could afford that, I would. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I made fucking, Turtle Boy money and didn't have lawyers to pay off, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would be doing for my dog. You know what I mean? And I would still like, and that's not to say that he's swimming in it. That's to say that I would still sacrifice whatever I had to be able to get them. That's how I am with my fucking dog and cat. Like, I want them to have the very best. They get as spoiled as my budget can afford to spoil them, even to the point to where I sacrifice things. So they have a nice little life. I am grateful that I get to be the one to give them that.
She knows she didn't do anything. I mean, true. I mean, she's lost 2 positions at Fidelity, at Bentley, had to sell her home, lost her vehicle, had to liquidate her 401, right? She's lost a lot. And plus, she's had to face the threat every day that this state was going to put her away for the rest of her natural life. And, when people say, how do you face that? She's a strong woman. My wife and I raised a strong daughter, but what she has become is largely on her own. We're so proud of her.
That's beautiful. You obviously have a long road ahead of you, too. After coming out of a long road, really. Yeah. The fight continues. How do you guys feel as a family? How do you move forward as a family? What's your advice there?
Well, to anybody who finds themselves in a situation, a dilemma that seems unimaginable, I think you have to have faith. I mean, we're a prayerful family. We observe our religion. We're faithful to it. And that's important for anyone. Our time on this earth is short. We're all mortal beings. And I think if you have that backbone of faith and trust in the Lord, you will prevail. It'll be sunny again. And it's sunny today. It's getting much better.
Anything else that you wanted to mention that I haven't asked you?
Thanks for the coverage. Thanks for the exposure. Thank you for keeping, this situation in the news. And, I suppose it's hard to not be in this news. I mean, the Karen Read saga she's a brand now. And we love her so much, and she's the most courageous individual I've ever met. Just proud to be her father, as my wife is proud to be her mother.
And she is fighting for not only herself, but people before her and after her.
Well, absolutely. There are people likely incarcerated who were not fortunate or blessed, as we have been in this case, to fight for the truth, to identify attorneys such as Alan Jackson, who can rally to the cause. And they're facing incarceration every day, and maybe some are facing no hope. So to the extent we prevail, and we will prevail, that provides hope to those who maybe do not have any hope. And for those who are in the system right now, and those who might be intended to do harm to innocent victims, it would be a wake-up call. Be careful. There'll be another Karen Read. And hopefully, all right, he or she will have the resources that Karen has.
I do have one more question. Your message maybe to...
Now listen, it might seem a little controversial that I just hid the person who was spamming Bible passages in my chat. I I mean, like, that's an insane person. I just want you to know. It's not that I'm disrespecting their beliefs. That's an insane person right there. Okay. Don't spam my chat with that shit, please. If you want to just leave it there, and if anybody wants to take it, see, that's nice. God's teachings, that's a nice thing. I get that. You know what I mean? And if you want to like leave a comment with a Bible passage, that's nice. But to blast it like that over and over again in my chat tells me you're a fucking troll. And you're not actually interested in anyone hearing God's word. You're just interested in annoying my chat. So get fucked.
Anyone listed in that lawsuit, what would that be? What would you want them to know?
They already know it. I have no message to them, nothing whatsoever. The document speaks for itself. It's rich in details. The granular is thick. If you wade through it, you can't help but come away with a pretty good impression of what happened.
And any message for the O'Keefe family?
Thank you, Grandma Robin.
We're fighting for Karen, but also parallel to that fight is getting answers as to what happened to John O'Keefe. So you can't look at this as just one outcome. If we're successful, as I believe we will be, then we will ultimately know what happened to Boston police officer John O'Keefe.
There you go.
So that's how I look at it. I hope they do too.
Well said. I've got nothing else for you unless you have something.
No, good. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.
Bill, you gotta love him. All right. There was other stuff I wanted to go over. So still no response from from specially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove in regards to the mega motion. And let me do this. Let me go over this real quick. So apparently there was some rumor that there was going to be charges against Jennifer McCabe about for witness intimidation by Karina Kalakathis, which I would assume is one of the people who were at the waterfall. I'm assuming is one of the people who I think I remember that she was one of the people that was at the waterfall. And so Aiden posted this, says, update on this. I have confirmed that the rumor that Karina Kalakathis, I can never say Greek names, filed a criminal complaint against Jennifer McCabe for witness intimidation is not true. I have received several messages telling me about this, none of which could be corroborated. I realized that by simply posting about it, I'd eventually get someone to confirm whether or not there was any truth to it. I have confirmed directly from a source who spoke with the Kalakathis family that it is untrue. And that is a repost of this post that says it is now past the closing of court business on November 19th. Robert Cosgrove has once again failed to file an opposition to our motion to dismiss and motion to recuse, missing the deadline for a third straight day. He has not contacted the court or my attorneys to ask for more time. Despite being well aware that the deadline has passed, there are also unsubstantiated rumors. He states it clearly that they are unsubstantiated rumors that Karina Kalakathis has filed a criminal complaint against Jennifer McCabe for witness intimidation. If this is true, is that the reason for Cosgrove's delay? He should do himself and the taxpayers a favor and drop the charges against me. He has lost his will to fight. And I agree. But this is obviously Aiden just thinking out loud here in a tweet. It's not that serious. Mama Llama, of course, has to make a big deal out of it. No, Mama Llama, calm down. Now, let me talk about this for a second. I haven't talked about good old Sue O'Connell in a second, but she posted something that I found fascinating, because the thing about Sue O'Connell, I want to like Sue O'Connell too. She was unfairly attacked for a while there on Twitter, and a lot of us spoke up in her defense for that. And I had decided I was going to be nicer to her, and I have no reason to not be, but I'm not going to not call out when I see some bullshit either. But then shortly after this, when I was in Boston, I had just shown up to the courthouse for one of the hearings. I think it was the jury selection, when I went for jury selection for the second trial, and Sue O'Connell had just walked up to me and just to shake my hand, just to say, she didn't say anything, just shook my hand, and I said, "Hey, it's really nice to meet you," and that was it. It was out of kindness and respect, because we had made our peace on Twitter. But there was a reason why I would call her out the way that I did. This is an example of that reason. So she tweets this 5 hours ago, says, "The risk to independent journalists when they post unconfirmed rumors is high. Libel, defamation lawsuits can be devastating, and your homeowner's insurance often won't cover you. Many policies exclude business activities or have coverage gaps. If your insurance doesn't cover you and you lose a defamation case, your home savings and other assets can be seized to pay the judgment. It's better to be last and correct than first and wrong." Now, Turtle Boy clearly put out a disclaimer there. Turtle Boy clearly put out a disclaimer stating there is an unsubstantiated rumor circulating. An unsubstantiated rumor circulating. Meaning like, hey, I'm hearing this, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is to make this point, because I'm wondering if it has anything to do with why specially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove has not filed a response to our motion to dismiss. Why has that not happened? Could this be why? I don't know. That's not him spreading a rumor. And what it shows is a beautiful example of something here. It's an example of a point that I have made over and over and over and over again in regards to why Aiden is getting such minimal mainstream media coverage, considering everything that we know, considering how forthcoming his attorneys have been, considering how forthcoming he is. It's fascinating to me because she proves the point that I've always made. The risk to independent journalists when they post unconfirmed rumors is high. It's the same risk with mainstream media journalists. You know that, right? It's the same risk with mainstream media journalists. I mean, what she's doing, what she did there was show the fear that mainstream media has of independent journalism. The fear. Independent journalists. Sue O'Connell has been at the front lines. She's had a front row seat to seeing the people prefer independent media over mainstream media. Go look. I mean, look at this shit. I mean, if you look at the live streaming of, like, look at a live streaming of any trial hearing or any Karen Reed related hearing. You look at the live streaming and the news stations that we're streaming, right? Hell, I get more views. Not to mention Melanie Little, the tens of thousands of views that she gets. But I get more views than the news station that I'm streaming. Why is that? I'm not even an independent journalist. None of these mainstream media outlets do a live stream and can even touch the numbers that Aiden gets. Aiden has an average of like 7,000 or 8,000 people watching him nightly every time he goes live. Tuesdays or Saturdays or Sundays if there's something happening on a Saturday for him. But it happens consistently. The fact that he may delay a Saturday live stream for Sunday does not affect his numbers at all. People want to hear from Aiden Carney. People want to hear from Turtle Boy. People want to hear from Mr. Media. They don't trust mainstream media anymore. You don't trust mainstream media anymore. And right here is Sue O'Connell expressing to the world on Twitter that she's feeling the effects of that. I find that very interesting. Now, this is not going to be a very long live stream, folks. Due to circumstances, people's schedules and availabilities and things, we are having our Thanksgiving dinner tonight, this week, instead of next week. So I'm being called to dinner, and so I will be attending that with my friends, and yeah. Super, stop it right now, y'all. But yeah, I now she's expressing, Sue O'Connell is clearly expressing that she is absolutely fucking scared of independent media. She's absolutely scared of it. It worries her because I find the timing interesting. I find the timing that she posts this, and here we go. The close of day. Here we go. It's Thursday, folks. Aiden just posted this an hour ago. The close of day is once again come and gone, and Norfolk Superior Court, without an opposition to our motion to dismiss filed by Robert Cosgrove. Just a reminder, it was due 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Yes, Sue O'Connell is a representative of mainstream media. She works for Boston 10. And she is fucking scared of being out of a job. Especially now that, I mean, you think about it. I really hope, what I'm really hoping is going to come out of the Turtle Boy documentary is going to be the focus on how impactful independent media is, and how in Boston, independent media has dominated over mainstream media. Because this is a fact. And Aiden Carney is leading that. He's leading that. There's a reason why they're making a documentary about this guy. He wasn't accused of murder falsely. The fact that he was charged for this stuff is only a drop in the bucket of the reasons why he is being made out to be as interesting as he is in order to make a documentary and then a feature Hollywood film about him. There's reasons for this. And the fact that he went to jail for 2 months is only a drop in the bucket of these reasons. So, yeah, I mean, let that sink in. Think about that. So make no mistake, as I've said before, the trust of the American people is been discarded. It was ignored and discarded by mainstream media. They didn't give a fuck about the trust of the American people. They lied so long about so many things and didn't care that the public were like, oh, look at that shit. That's fucking bullshit. You've got leftist media, you've got right-wing media, and people are just, there's many of us who are just like, how about just the news? Can we just get the news? And if we're going to get opinions, well, we don't want to hear that from mainstream media. We want to hear that from independent media sources. So if we're going to get opinions, we might as well listen to the people we want to hear the opinions from. But that trust has been discarded. But the thing about that is it's there for the taking. It's just waiting for independent journalists and independent commentators to pick it up by simply being ethical, being honest and being ethical. And yeah, a little rough around the edges doesn't hurt. And maybe it does. I don't know, but I'm not willing to compromise that. I'm always going to do what I do the way that I do it. Always. I might become more disciplined in how I manage it, but I'm always going to keep it real every single time. Because if I can get as many of you to see me for who I am and what I bring to the table, then why wouldn't I grow the way that I always have? All I can do is just be grateful for what I have here. And just have faith that it'll grow. And even if it doesn't, I have this, and I'm grateful for that. I like the idea of having earned trust. I love the idea of having earned trust. And I don't want to speak for Aiden, but I feel like if you asked him the same thing, he would say the same thing. Something along those lines. So, yeah. This is why mainstream media is scared, because mainstream media doesn't have the heart that the people are looking for. And they have reason to be worried. So maybe, just maybe, this will scare them into becoming more ethical and more honest. The only way to compete with independent media at this point is to give the people what independent media is giving the people and dress it up the way that mainstream media does. It's the only way you can do it. And I'll take it. As long as the people are getting the truth, I'll take it. But anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out if you can. It helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. and make sure to hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And thank you guys for all of the support. That means the world to me. You guys are the best, and Clubber and Drago appreciate it too, since we got to talking about that. But you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. I love you very much. Remember, it only takes a second to stay safe, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.
Watch out!
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school just like their neighbors and come back to a real home, a supervised home, right in the neighborhood where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.